and welcome back to a very patriotic episode of Stacey's Summer Series. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this ruffled deco mesh wreath to celebrate the 4th of July. So stay tuned and I'll show you everything you need to do to make one for yourself. So the first thing I want to do is go over the items that you're going to need to make this Patriotic Deco ruffle wreath. And the first thing you're going to need, and well actually I found all of these things, save this and the ribbon. So I found the work wreath, the mesh, and the 4th of July sign from Hobby Lobby. And actually, I think they have a whole display of 4th of July items, actually, and that's where I found this. This is called a work wreath, and it already comes with the twist ties already attached, so it saves you an entire step. Plus, I thought this one was super cute with the silver foil ties to add a little jazz and sparkle to your wreath. So the first thing you're going to need, this is a 16-inch work wreath I got from Hobby Lobby. You're going to need 3 rolls of deco mesh. And now this is in, oh, hello light. There, that's a little better. This is the 10-inch by 10-inch by 30 feet rolls of deco mesh, and of course I just got red, white, and blue, and I went ahead and got the, if you can see, it's got a little bit of a metallic sparkle to it. And then another thing I like to do is add ribbon, and I'll show you a little later on what we're going to do with these. We're going to stack them from large, medium, oh, this one got a little out of hand, large, medium to small, and we're going to stack them and make little decorations to stick in to the wreath itself. I found these at AC Moore, actually, just little sparkle stars, and I'll probably pull them apart, maybe, maybe not, and just stick them in around. And then the last thing I found was this at Hobby Lobby, again with their 4th of July items, and this will go in the center. Now, if you wanted, if you didn't, I may attach it with the string here, with the loop, so that I can remove this, and this wreath can be used for Memorial Day, Veterans Day, 4th of July. You can use it for any patriotic holiday. So those are the items that we're going to need. Oh, you're going to need a measuring tape and some scissors. Those are the items that we're going to need. So your first step is going to be cutting your deco mesh into 20-inch lengths. I have counted, and there are 16 attachment points. So we will need 16 20-inch lengths of our deco mesh. So what I like to do is take my measuring tape, roll it out, and attach it to my cutting surface. So I am going to take the wrapping off of these, stack them all together, move this out of the way, and attach my tape measure to my workspace, and I'll show you what that looks like when we come back. So here you can see I've unwrapped all 3 of the rolls. I've got my scissors ready. I've rolled out my tape measure, and all I did was took a little piece of Scotch tape and put it here at the 20-inch mark, just to give me a visual reference where that 20-inch mark is. Now, if your rolls, if your cuts aren't exactly 20 inches every time, it's not a big deal. You will never notice it once the wreath is all put together. It's so full and fluffy. It really does cover any minor mistakes that you might make. So what I like to do is I cut all 3 rolls at the same time. All you have to do is stack them up. So here's red, so lay that out. Here's white, oops, upside down. Nope, I had it right the first time. Okay, here's white. Just stack them on up. Let me get blue out here. Okay, and like I said, it's not exactly perfect, but it doesn't have to be. It's totally fine. Actually, I'm gonna go this way, and then you just roll them out of your way and line them up and start cutting. So if you stay here, okay, and here's 20, and I'm just going to eyeball it at 20. And here's my first section, my first roll of 20-inch lengths of red, white, and blue deco mesh. And what we'll do is when we get all of these cut, and actually the 30 feet of 10-inch deco mesh will get you 18 rolls. So you have a couple of extra to play with, because I counted on my work wreath and only needed 16. But what we'll do is when all of these are cut, what you'll do is you'll lay them this way, and you'll start at the bottom, and you'll just crinkle them up, crinkle them up, crinkle them up, crinkle them up, and then they get attached like this to the work wreath. And then what I do is I just pull them apart once they're on the wreath and give it a good fluff. So don't worry, I'm going to show you a little more in depth how we do this at the end, but right now what I'm gonna do off camera is I'm gonna go ahead and roll these out and get all of my lengths that we need for the wreath cut, and when I come back I'll show you how to start attaching them. Okay, so now you have all of your rolls cut. It's time to attach them to the work wreath. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I ruffle the deco mesh for it to be attached to the work wreath. So what you do is you just take your roll and you roll it out flat like this. And what I do is I just start pleating the deco mesh, and then I just grab another one and work my way up and pleat and pleat and pleat and pleat and keep pleating until I'm all the way at the end, and then you'll end up with something that looks like this. But if you pinch it in the middle and release it, you get kind of like a fan. And this is how you're going to attach it to the work wreath. So we'll start here, and you just take your pinch in the middle and stick it right down in between those ties and give it a nice tight twist. And that's the first of your ruffles. Now don't worry about how it looks now, because when they're all on, what we're going to do is we're going to come back, we're going to separate these layers, give it a good tug of fluff, and the whole wreath will transform and fluff up right before your eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to pleat these rolls, turn them into little fans, and attach them to the rest of this work wreath. And when we come back, this will be full and we'll move on to our next step. And here you have it. This is what your wreath will look like after you attach all of the rolls of the deco mesh. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't pulled this apart. I haven't fluffed it. I haven't done anything to it. This is how good it looks after the very first step. So just imagine after you get the ribbons on and any little signs or flags or anything else you want to put on it, just how amazing this whole thing is going to look. So I, of course, am not going to leave it here at this stage. I'm going to go ahead and cut some ribbons to stick on, and I'm also going to attach a sign to the middle and also those little glittery stars. But so the next step is going to be cutting the ribbons, and we're going to use the same steps that we used for cutting the rolls of the deco mesh. And when we come back, I'm going to show you how to do that. So at this step, what we're going to be doing is cutting our ribbon to add to our wreath. And the only difference between this step and the time that we cut our deco mesh is we only need 12-inch lengths of ribbon. So I laid out my tape measure the same as last time. I took my little tape and I marked it off at 12 inches. And then you're just going to line them up like we did the last time, stack them up, small, medium, or large, medium, small, and they may or may not give you a little bit of a hard time, but we'll get them all stacked up and just hold them in place. And take your scissors and there we go. So you're going to cut as many of these as you like. I know that this ribbon here is only 3 yards, so that's going to get me 9 lengths of 12-inch ribbon. So I'm going to have 9 little stacks of ribbon to attach to my wreath. So now that you have all your ribbons cut and finished ends with the little tails, then you're just going to go around, find where you would like to attach them, find your little ties, the same ties that you use to attach the deco mesh, stick them in the middle, give them a little twist, and you have an added little pizzazz right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this by attaching all of the ribbons, and when I come back I'll show you what that looks like. And here you have it. Here's your wreath with all the ribbons attached, and you can leave it here if this makes you happy, or I am going to keep on adding more patriotic things. I'm going to add these little stars, and then actually I'm going to leave it there once I get the stars on, because I'm going to have this up for Memorial Day, and then after Memorial Day I'll add my Happy 4th of July sign and hang it again for 4th of July. So here's the completed wreath, ready to be hung for any patriotic holiday. And here it is with the sign added to celebrate a very happy 4th of July. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and give these deco ruffle wreaths a try for yourselves. And as Arlen says, until next time, y'all take good care.